Damn, damn, damn. See, all my life I've been daydreaming about true love's whereabout and when comes. Daydreaming up our life lived like Coretta and King or Betty and Malcolm. I had it all figured how we would meet and jump the broom and raise black children with black pride, with black names maybe born. Nowhere, no how was white, any part of that dream. I grew thinking that kind of love was part of someone's faded history, where the black woman was sought by someone's evil eyes, and I was mother laid out by the Mississippi to die. No, I never welcomed the scowls by the passing public, the double takes by the others, or the shout outs by my own brothers. No, I never dreamt of light-skinned children who come home crying, learning for the first time, nigga. But if it's love, then what? Cause the dream don't reflect the reality. Cause the world outside our window don't know what I know about your music selection, your book selection, your heart and spirit. No, the world will only see white you with black me. And love can change a lot, but it can't change history. You never argued or pleaded with me to change. Probably too many other sisters that told you the same thing. And for the next week when I told you better friends than lovers, all I seemed to notice was white folks and black significant others. But I had done what's best, right? I mean, cause I'm down for the brothers first, right? I mean, I ain't had a good day since 98, but I gotta save myself for black love. Gotta save myself for black love. Gotta save myself for black love. Gotta save my self-perception, done change from knowing to guessing. And I have to ask myself, did I really miss out on a blessing? See, I prayed to God of a man of true character and standing, who was passionate about the people and came with serious consciousness, who vibed with me spiritually and knew God personally. But never in my request did I think to mention ethnicity. See, the answer gets no clear. Each time I tell this story, to think that I never could conceive if it was the world that wasn't ready, or if it was me. Damn. I'll never know. I'll never know. I'll never know.
I did hear stuff. Staring at this application, transfixed on this one section that identifies what race I am. Thinking back, I muddled through the many layered facets that make my genes full. My great-grandmother was half Cherokee with rich, flawless, cocoa-brown skin and the dark, piercing eyes of a native. My great-grandfather was quadrant, cold steel gray eyes and soft wavy hair, half away from being able to pass. My other great-grandmother's bloody yellow skin tone crept loudly of Master Stevenson's late-night trips to the slave quarters, while my other great-grandfather was tall, big, and darker than the darkest midnight. Of my four foundations, he was the closest to her motherland descent. Unfortunately, his African genes never trickled down to me. You see, by no stretch of the imagination can I be considered a 100% untainted Mandingo Milwaukee Mandingo stock. Aside from these thick lips and kinky locks, and while I was raised on the black side of the tracks, can I honestly say that's what I am? Can I truthfully say I know what it means to be black? Brought up smack dab in the middle of Canada every time of my life, never having witnessed an act of racial strife or prejudice. Standing next to my chocolate skin brother feeling maligningly inadequate. How does my cafe always skin, but not quite sure if I fit in when they say it's a black thing. Can I really understand? Never known lips or chains, never been denied the freedoms I now take for granted. I've never had to fight the power, trace my roots to find the color purple for my existence to be complete. So what does that, in essence, make me? Not sure I can literally pull off the drum of being black cause it's a black thing. Thinking back over my multi-sided makeup, how can I know which cross of my 4 or 5 is to take up? How do I classify myself with these limited choices in restricted space? Which box can I use to tell these statistically nosy-ass people my race? Yes, I am a descendant of African, but then again, I'm not. Yes, I'm Native American, but then again, I'm not. Yes, I do have my 29 years of not knowing who I truly am has made me.
Am I one step away from the blues if I don't conform? If my eyes don't alight at the sight of the norm? Is mine a new blue hue or just a blue new to you? And if you knew what I knew, would you do as I do or don't do, whatever the case may be? And in case I'm awake, would you pray for me? And my new blue hue, like a deep blue sea, I can see through eyes that have seen through me. I see the patterns the painters paint in pictures and portraits of poets and saints, in faces of people for goodness and evil, in a place where race has debased its own people, in sequels and solos and songs that they write, in the things that they do, in the battles they fight, in the blues that they knew weren't blue, they were white. When red and black and yellow and brown are the bluest of blues that have ever been found on a blue seashore from a red man's land who tried to survive in a white man's plan to till the land and plant the seeds on backs of blacks and yellows who bleed the same red blood that the blue bloods bleed. But best believe that the blue bloods bled like Abe, Rob, and John who got shot in the head. Now, someone has said and someone will say a new order is in order. Then make it that way. Manifest destiny, designated divine, like some new hue of blue you say is yours but not mine. Well, my blues are blind like Stevie and Ray, and my blues are in blue. They're just bluish today. Peace, I'm Max Parthas. You heard Damn, Part 2 by Rhapsody, first off, and that was supplied to me from BBS Value Tour. You also heard In a Box by Angela Michelle. Two pieces I thought that kind of stood out for what I want to talk about today. You know, when I thought yesterday, peace, what's up, Elder Beatmaster, by the way, welcome guests, man. I'm glad somebody came in with an ear to listen and stuff like that, you know what I mean? It's just, everybody's heart is heavy today. It's so hurtful. And I just want to make sure that we all know we are on the same page, man. It's incredible. I've been a victim of racism on more than one occasion in my life, like many of you can say as well, you know, and I'm not the darkest brother to get off the boat, you know what I mean? My children are about as light as I am. Some are darker. I have sons who have married into the white community, and I have daughters and sons who have married into the black community. You know, we're spread out through all over the place. Last I heard, there was like 40 million of us, just like this, dying beside everybody, you know, being killed. And with this Trayvon Martin thing, it has really brought to light even more how much we all share the same fate. And this separation and segregation and pointing the finger at anyone is crazy. This is a human problem. We're dealing with a human problem. It's a human problem. And you can't solve a problem by separating yourself from your own children. You just can't do that. You can't say, you know what, I don't agree with my son, so he's not my son anymore. It's crazy, man. The beast in us has been coming out. And we're blind today. We're blind. I just put out something a little earlier. I think I should read it on the air just for the sake of record. It was a question I was asking after reading all the stuff and hearing all the stuff that's going on since this verdict. Is you got to ask how it is all these so-called intellectuals of our communities, the elite among us with degrees of Mason with envy, can neither see slavery nor address it. Talking around it is the best we can get? Really? Please, break down to me how slavery took a back seat to what you're doing now. It's that same no justice, no peace lie you keep telling us. The civil rights movement, which in itself was a continuation of the original abolitionist movement, died with an assassination campaign put on by the American government. It's common knowledge. COINTELPRO, we all know it. I don't understand what it takes to get through to people so smart. They have multiple masters. Are we no more aware than a heavy-laden mule? You know, my great aunt who raised me as her son told me stories that was told to her by the Robinson couple who had raised her. They were former slaves who had migrated to Paterson, New Jersey. Her own Native American parents were second generations of victims of the Indian Removal Act of 1830, and few of them were educated to any distinguishable degree then. You know, most of them were drunks who couldn't read. It was really just that simple. But all of them knew that what was happening without confusion. And I just wonder, are we too blind to to see now, too smart to understand what's happening, and being manipulated by evil people who want to separate us on so many levels. Let me tell you the type of people that you're dealing with. Okay, we all know how slavery went, right? You know, many of us trace our roots directly to slavery. I can trace family as far back as 1700s, both on the Indian side, well, actually on all three sides, on the Indian side, on the Italian side, and on the African American side. And you could trace it back to a time when there was a man who would kill his own children because they were birthed by black women. Would kill them, kick them in the stomach if they knew they were pregnant. You know what I mean? That's the type of suffering that everybody had to deal with. You know, slavery was terrible, but imagine your parents doing it to you. Wow. It's a special, invisible problem going on within the minority community. It often has to do with half-breeds. You know, it's hard to be accepted. As I said, I've been called a racist term. People had an intellectual discussion about my ass just recently. Well, I don't say me directly, but about multiracials, and they were comparing us to hybrids. They're like, we could use hybrids to go in and become spies in the white community. And you know, the whole passes thing that's been going on for years, it's just ridiculous. We're not animals. We're not crosses between humans and freaking cats or a lion and a tiger. We're human beings, man. It's ridiculous. And we're your sons and daughters. Stop kicking your mothers in the stomach trying to get rid of us. Why do you hate us so much? I just don't understand that sometimes. Both sides. You know, Nixon, I don't know if many people know this, but in 1972, about 5 years after the Loving Laws had been passed, where they made it finally legal for blacks and whites to get married, about 3 years after I was born. Right after that happened, Nixon went on a campaign for Roe versus Wade. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that history. But his main concern was the overpopulation of half-breeds. He wanted them dead and said so in no uncertain terms. If I can paraphrase him, he was like, I believe the people will vote in Colorado because they believe they are voting to get rid of the Negro bastards. That's what they believe they'll be doing. And he said that on more than one occasion in more words than that. They hated us. It was like we was a monster to them. I remember in Texas some years ago, I was a guest appearing at a community speaking event. You have to excuse me. I'm a little emotional from today's and yesterday's situation, but I was a guest appearing at a town hall meeting of black community. I was there to talk and do some poetry, which I did. And after a while, we all sat down in a circle. Must have been about, 40 of us in the actual discussion, maybe 100 surrounding them. And it came down to this one part where this one brother decided he wanted to talk, and he told us he was a former pimp. Brother's about as light as me. About as light as me. It was crazy. He said he was a former pimp, but he was a bright brother. Very smart, you know what I mean? And he said, we need to understand 3 things in the black community. And he held up his fingers, and he said, we need to understand economics, we need to understand military strategy, and we need to understand breeding. Now, I had heard some things like this before. I'm not blind. I've grown up this way. This is who I've always been. And I said, what do you mean by breeding? And he publicly, right there in Texas, Houston, Texas, as a matter of fact, said, well, the Arabs don't go outside of their race to breed. The Asians don't go outside of their race to breed. The Indians don't go outside of their race to breed. But why do we do that? We need to stop doing that. So I said, well, what about the people like me? Because remember now, this is a black movement. I'm there as a black person. You understand? And I'm there as a guest speaker. I said, what about people like me? And he said, what about you? I said, well, I'm American Indian, African American, and Sicilian. So he says, well, which one, well, let me see if I can say it correctly. He said, which one are you? And I said, all of them. He said, no such thing. No such thing as this. You're either black or you're not. And if you're claiming all those things, then you're like a Frankenstein monster. Wow. So we have to deal with that on a regular basis. People look at, it's amazing. They give us credit. They give us as multiracials, they give us credit more often than not when we're doing the right thing. Like, if we're Huey, evidently multiracial. It's all good, But if you're Barack Obama, his white side seems to be showing more than anything else, then we turn against each other real quick. It's crazy and it's painful and it's a holocaust in my eyes that has been going on for a long time. I'm talking too much. There's somebody on the line, and while I'm getting this out of my heart, maybe somebody might want to add something to it. I'll bring you in. Hold on for a second. Okay, 786-424-2233. You're on air. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say your whole number. My bad. Mistake today. I can barely hear you. Are you on the road? Yeah, we can barely hear you. Whose statement? Mine? Oh, the guy that said that. I hear you, Quiet Storm. All right, dude, pull over when you get a chance and up, and we'll see what happens if you can get it clear, because I can't get you right now. If you guys want to call in, the number is 347-202-0314. That's 347-202-0314. I know I don't want to confuse the issue of today, but this was on my heart yesterday. I just wanted to speak on it, man. I'm tired of my daughters being called both, all the racial derogatory things. Recently, I had to explain to my niece, that she is a person and not a mutt, not a dog, not a mule, not some kind of hybrid Voltron and whatnot,
That room, compared to my room, is like a kid house, man.
All right, you're starting to come in a little bit now, but you're still not clear. I wish I could hear you clear, bro. You're starting to come in. Anybody in the chat hear him? QS, can you hear him?
I'll see.
All right, bro. Well, I'll mute you. I can hear you, but you won't be on the air. So when I hear you clear, I'll bring you back in. So, yeah, man, it's just a shame. I'm your brother. My kids are your brother. We marrying in and out. People keep talking about this go back to Africa stuff like they're just going to leave their kids behind who don't have an Africa to go back to, My family was part of the Trail of Tears. Part of the Trail of Tears. How can I forget that and just say, that don't exist in me, and I need to go somewhere else and forget all about them. There's 40 million like us around here. You can't keep excluding us. And there's evil that we can do just like anybody else can do. So that's nothing that you can generalize. Everybody's capable of evil or betrayal or things like that. My worst betrayals have come at the hands of my own brothers and sisters in the black community. And I'm not going to say it would have happened in the white community as well, but I spent more time around the black community. So maybe that's why the odds is. But, yeah, that's where my biggest betrayals have come. You're supposed to love us like we're our sons, but you look at us like we're some kind of different creature. I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. You know how many people I see running around here? I know without a shadow of a doubt they can trace their history to Ireland or Dublin or Europe somewhere. It's just so evident all over them, and they don't know nothing about their heritage because they've been told to choose this and everything else is something you hate. So you got kids going around hating themselves. Growing up, listening to people having these dating instructions about you should never date a white woman or you should never date a black man or I brought home this black man and my family cried and blah, blah, blah. It's crazy. These kids are living right now listening to you, knowing you hate them. How can you do that? That's no better than the master kicking the slaves in the stomach to get rid of a kid. I can only imagine what the mothers felt like back then. I can only imagine. Better yet, I can do more than imagine. I got a poem about it. Want to hear it? Here it go. Freedom came. Freedom came. Thank God Almighty, freedom came. But Lord Jesus, what am I going to do? I was the white man's whore with not one of the devil's seeds, but two. Them other niggas hates my guts because I've been betting Master James, and he sure like this big black. Now I got to get out of the master's old house, but tell me, where am I to go? Where, Lord? Ain't no place for a half-white family down here in the middle of the deep, dark South. Nary a man's going to want to take me in just 'cause of the color of my chilling skin. I love them dearly, even if they were made in hate, but looks like starving and begging's about to be my family's fate. All I have done was been a nice diversion for the white man's fun. They telling me about how freedom came, but I guess me and mine got to wait till kingdom come. Lord, forgive me, but I'd rather still be a slave. At least I knew where I was going to eat and stay warm in the winter's deadly cold. It ain't my fault. I turned out this way. Master James took me when I was only 9 years old. So excuse me if I don't dance a little happy nigger jig around and twirl around the fire in my much-mended skirt. I hate that song y'all keep singing. Slavery was evil, truly, but this freedom hurts so damn much worse. So keep on singing that song. Freedom came, thank God Almighty, freedom came. Why I try and tell my chillin' y'all hate that we don't even own our damn name. This ain't no freedom we's getting. They just making our chains a little bigger. Y'all so easily fooled that one day you'll probably be proud to call each other nigger. I got no choices left to me, and freedom ain't giving me any, so I'ma mosey on down to Master John's plantation and ask him if he will bet me for a penny. No room for pride. When my little ones got to eat and stay alive, I might have to spend my life whoring still, but I damn sure ain't just gonna lay down and die. Oh, don't let it be for naught, Lord, please. One day let us in truth proclaim that we've got a home, food, and a place for us. Because freedom, real freedom, done finally came. Freedom came. Thank God Almighty. Freedom came. Yeah, I just had to get that off my, I just had to, man. Somebody asked me to write as someone else once before, years ago, and I decided to write as a woman who had 2 half-white children when slavery was announced to be abolished, and how she would feel. Because I could tell, I knew, I felt it myself, and there's millions that have felt it like me. You know, love us, we're part of the family. Don't hate us, and we're part of both families. We're living bridges. We're the proof that you guys are related. We are the freaking proof, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, just by being alive, we show you that peace exists, that love can conquer all boundaries. And it was a time when creating people like us, multiracial descent between great nations, was a way to bring nations together. Don't hate us. That's all I'm saying. It's been on my heart for the longest now. I hear it so often. You know, we are victims of everything you are victims of, and more and more. You know, they tried to kill us. The president wanted us wiped out. They had to make it legal just so our mother and father could get married. This is in my lifetime. So, you know, and now our children are dying at the hands, just like our children together are dying at the hands of crazy-ass wannabe cops and cops. And people can't even recognize slavery while it's happening. I don't even know what world I'm living in. Anyway, I appreciate you guys coming in today. I'm going to try to bring this mic back open one more time. That's 2233. 2233. Can you hear? Are you on the line? Okay, looks like we didn't get him back in. Quiet Storm, Elder Beat Master, love you, bros. I think time is about 5 minutes, 6 minutes left. If you guys want to call in and leave a few words. You know, this might not mean nothing to nobody, this is what I'm talking about today, but it just hurts when people look at you like you're some kind of strange alien and they hate you without even knowing why. People were bred to hate us. Can you imagine how the mothers had to feel when they knew that if they were going to have a mixed baby, it had to die? They had to hate it before it was born because they knew it had to die. Master couldn't have no half-breeds running around. That was unseemly. Unseemly. It wouldn't happen. They made it illegal for you to even get married. It was that bad. That's how much they cared about it. They were afraid that we would take over. Wow. When I was growing up, there was like, I think there was maybe 6 of us in the neighborhood. Yeah, I just heard you say one word, and then you bounced out again. Okay, your voice is coming back. There you go. Say something. I can hear you. Well, maybe not. You know, if anybody wants to talk about the aspect of slavery, I put out several videos over the past few days. You can find them on my page at Max Parthas. Please share them so people understand what's going on. You can also catch me every Wednesday at New Abolitionist Radio, where we gather together to fight against this and bring light to it and maybe have a few ideas that actually work. That's every Wednesday at 8 to 9 p.m. You can find it on our website, MaximumImpactPoetry.com. As I said, you know, this was just a moment for me to get something off my chest that I've been wanting to say, and to make a record of it so I don't have to repeat it over and over again, you know, the pain that's being caused and the things we do to our own kin. I just feel so bad sometimes when people call me brother in one breath and then think of something else in another. some multiracial history. You know, that's the funny thing. We don't even have a history. I mean, if you look up multiracial history, you'll see nothing. It's amazing, man. Like, again, we're in a box. We don't exist. Like the song you heard in the very beginning by Angela Michelle, In a Box. We don't exist. I remember during the late, it was 1999 or 1990 or something like that, but they had this bill that went to Congress where it was called the Tiger Woods Bill, where multiracials wanted to move towards being recognized as a different race altogether. And it was defeated. Hold on. Take this mic off because of the echo. It was defeated by the NAACP primarily, who stated that they could not afford to lose that large of a chunk of their voting power and populace. Those were black people, you know what I mean? So they lobbied against it, and it never made it through. But the idea that people wanted to is something to think about. It's something to think about. You have to forgive me if I'm not reading chat. I see it going on right there. I'm going to catch it after the show. I'm just going with my heart right now, and I hope that's cool. Still got 3 minutes left. So, yeah, man, these are the things that I've seen in my lifetime, the terrible acts. And I just keep saying, we're all your brothers. We're the proof. You know, if you want to know can peace exist, all you got to do is look at your children. We're connected to everything. It's so hard to call Africa home. It's so hard to call America home. It's so hard for me, and I'm just talking about me, to call Sicily home, because all of those are my homes. You know, and I guess other people with multiple heritages can say the same thing. I don't want to leave any of my family. I want us all to be together, and it just drives me nuts when I see people just like myself say, you know what, we're going here, and y'all can go to hell. We're going to leave you behind. You don't need a home. Just come with us, be us, or don't be nothing at all. You know, I've been told, I'm going to share one more memory with you. This is my own personal memory. So, you know, people don't have to say that I'm generalized. I'm telling you what I lived. I helped organize the Million Man March back in the Patterson, New Jersey. And, I mean, I was like center in it. I was the guy making the calls, bringing the people together, helping to get the buses organized, you know, counting heads, blah, 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 blah. And I worked with the Nation of Islam while I was there doing that. And when it came the time for us to all get on the bus, I got, with my brothers there we had been working with, and they told, two of them actually pulled me aside and said, Max, we think maybe you shouldn't go today. And I was like, what? And what do you mean I shouldn't go? And they explained to me that I might cause problems because of what I look like on the bus with the brothers. I was so ashamed of them. To this day, man, it just makes me want to cry. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. I just looked at the bus, I looked at them, and I walked away. And I didn't repeat it too much or say much about it anymore after that. Well, those are my own memories. So, you know, peace out to those that know what's real and what's not. One love to everybody, man. We're all brothers and sisters. The things we're dealing with is a human issue, and it's called slavery, and we got to stop it because it's the root of all our problems. Catch me Wednesday at New Abolitionist Radio. Thank you guys for coming in and listening to a brother just drop what he feels. Until next time, peace, poetry, and prismatic dream.
Damn. See, all my life I've been daydreaming about true loves, whereabout and when comes. Daydreaming up our life, live like Coretta and King or Betty and Malcolm. I had it all figured how we would leap and jump the broom and raise black children with black pride, with black names maybe born. Nowhere, no how was white, any part of that dream. I grew thinking that kind of love was part of someone's stated history, where the black woman was sought by someone's evil eyes, and I was mother laid out by the Mississippi to die. No, I never welcomed the scowls by the passing public, the double takes by the others, or the shout-outs by my own brothers. No, I never dreamt of light-skinned children who come home crying, learning for the first time, nigga. But if it's love, then what? Cause the dream don't reflect the reality. Cause the world outside our window don't know what I know about your music selection, your book selection, your heart and spirit. No, the world will only see white you with black me. And love can change a lot, but it can't change history. You never argued or pleaded with me to change. Probably too many other sisters that told you the same thing. And for the next week when I told you better friends than lovers, all I seem to notice is white folks and black significant others. But I had done what's best, right? I mean, 'cause I'm down for the brothers first, right? I mean, I ain't had a good day since 98, but I gotta save myself for black love. Gotta save myself for black love. Gotta save myself for black love. Gotta save my self-perception, done change from knowing to guessing. And I have to ask myself, did I really miss out on a blessing? Yeah, I praise the God of a man of true character and standing, who was passionate about the people and came with serious consciousness, who ride with me spiritually and knew God personally. But never in my request did I think to mention ethnicity. See, the answer gets no clearer each time I tell this story. To think that I never could conceive if it was the world that wasn't ready, or if it was me. Damn.